Oh my god. Oh my god. So much to talk about. Not really any more than usual, but anyway, we're up to episode 71 of this rambling, nonsensical bullshit. So, tonight, I want to touch on a couple reviews from last week and a look ahead to what's coming up this coming week, and talk about something really quick that kind of bored its way into my head this past week based on an email from a band. But first and foremost, let's talk some metal here. This past week we had some interesting spread of artists and styles. We started the week off with the band Australasia and their new album, EP, kind of hard to decide what it is, Sinatra. And, well, it's really, really good. If you're a fan of any post-rock, post-metal, this is the perfect combination of both. It's a little soft for metal, it's a little heavy for rock. It's a perfect little instrumental album. And I was so impressed with the songs on it. And it's blissfully short, which is another one of the things that I really like about it, is that it's not trying to be this epic, sprawling wasteland of stuff. I think they kept it short and sweet for a reason. At least I like to think so. So you should definitely check that one out. It came out last year, but it's definitely worth a listen now. So if you're a fan of any of the post styles, that's a pretty good place to start. Now, on the flip side of the spectrum is Aleph Null, who had their Dale EP last year, which I really enjoyed. So it only made sense that their new Belladonna EP would follow suit. So you'll notice the reviews sound very similar, because this is a band who they found what they are good at, and they're fucking doing it. And they make this weird psychedelic sludge doom. It's somewhere in the middle of all of that. And it's beautifully imperfect. It's, the vocals are crazy. It's really, really good. And it's another one of those times where I feel the need to say that you can do whatever it is you want to do as long as you do it well. And they are doing something that I don't know how many bands are really doing, and I'm sure there's a lot, but none of the ones I've heard really strike me the way that Aleph Null does. So you get that kind of Black Sabbath sound, but in a modern way, and you get it. It's kind of this new wave of old music, and I think that out of the 4 songs on the EP, there was not a moment where I went like, okay, well that one went on too long, or that one's too short. There's tracks of 6 minutes, 7 minutes, and then 3 minutes, and it just all makes sense. And the great part about it is, they're from Germany, which, again, I don't know of many bands doing this, but definitely not from Germany. And it all comes together in such a perfect way. And I think they know that. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, like, well, I think they know they're good. No, I think they know that they're doing something great, and I think they're just riding that out. And I have a lot of respect for that. They're not trying to do too much, not trying to go out of their way to impress people when they don't have to. Then we finished the week with an album that was a tough one. It was a tough one to review. The name of the band is Sons of Aeon, and they have in their ranks Pasi Paasonen, who was the drummer for Swallow the Sun up through the Plague of Butterflies EP. So, I was automatically a little bit triggered there, because I do love Swallow the Sun. And they are a melodic death band through and through. But the issue for the album, for me, was the first 2 tracks kind of back them into this corner, where the opening of the first track is like awesome. Great guitars, an awesome guitar melody. And then it just kind of gets stagnant for a little bit. And it just seems like they went for the one-dimensional, okay, well, we're doing, melodic death, but, okay, there you go. Here it is, generic as can be. But all of a sudden, it was like track 3, they break out of that, and they start doing something even better. The guitars get heavier, but more catchy. The vocals get huge. And it's amazing to me that they pulled off, I believe I called it the Sasquatch of the metal repertoire. They pulled off a death metal ballad. What? That doesn't even make sense, does it? But they really pulled that off. And I think I don't even know what to say about it. I don't even know what to say about it. but it's just it's crazy. But by the end of the album, it was awesome. It reminded me of some Swallow the Sun. It reminded me of Insomnium, Insufferum. It had all of those elements in there, and it is, it's a great melodic death album. I mean, if you're looking for something that blows your mind and reinvents things for you, as we've had recently, you might not get that out of it. But if you want a melodic death album that you're going to bang your head to, want to swing your hair to, and it's going to make you want to growl along, this is exactly the place you could get it. So definitely check out the self-titled Sons of Aeon album. I believe it's on Life Force Records. So definitely give that a listen, because I think you will fucking like it. And something to be said about the artwork too. It's kind of, it's just a picture of a lighthouse. It's very minimalist, especially for a melodic death album, because they usually border on the fantastic Viking-style artwork. But not this time. It's kind of a simple piece of work. So now, also, the thing I wanted to bring up, and the reason this podcast has the name that it does, which is What's in a Name, is how important is a name to get you to listen to a band? And I found myself in this conundrum recently, and I got an email from a band. The name of the band is Jizzlobber. 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 Apparently they are a French sludge doom band. And, get this email to review the album. And I have this hard time for the first day or two getting past the name. And, between the emails we get, messages on Facebook, and we get some interesting emails and messages with some very interesting band names. And I can't really judge, I suppose, because I don't know, the meaning behind all the names. But when the name Jizzlobber comes your way, it's not exactly, you're not thinking like, okay, this is going to be a serious band that's really good. You're thinking this could be like some high school kids making, terrible, like, metal parody songs in their basement or something. And it could steer you away. I mean, maybe that's just me being, a shallow music elitist. I don't know. But it kind of struck me as odd. So when you think about that, and I can come right back to Australasia. Australasia, the album is great, and it's called Sinatra, but there's no A's in it. They're replaced by 4s. So when I sent the album on to a friend who I thought would enjoy it, he told me that the music better make up for the fact that there were 4s in place of A's. When Megadeth released their album 13 and there were no E's, they were 3s. But how much do names of albums and artists really affect the way we see them before we've heard the music? Like, do we get a preconceived, prejudged notion of what this band does just based on what the name says? And it's not always in a bad way. You think Jizzlobber, okay, well that sounds like porn. But, there are bands, let's say, Viking Skull or, Megadeth. You think based on the name you get a little bit of what they're about. And for better or worse, it's kind of that way, I guess. But, if I heard the name Jizzlobber and a friend said, hey, I'll give you the Jizzlobber album for free, I don't necessarily know that I would jump at the chance. Now, coincidentally, I have now listened to the Jizzlobber album, EP, I believe, with a review coming probably next week, and it's actually really good. So now I have the conundrum of how do I pass along the gospel of Jizzlobber without, being sued for sexual harassment in the office or my place of business. So if you can figure that out for me, you let me know. But yeah, so that's about it for this week. Sorrow Eternal. I think that's a pretty awesome name, and I think it conveys that, sad music, I guess. I don't know. I just don't fucking know. So yeah, so next week we'll come back and I'll talk about some more bullshit that probably makes no sense. But in the meantime, make sure you give us a like on Facebook. Check our shit a lot, because there's going to be more content coming. Got some reviews coming up with Malnat and El Faraya. Very excited about those, as well as a long-awaited interview with Aphelium that I just got lost on. So we got that and a whole lot more coming. And so keep track of what we're doing. And we're going to be bumping up to, I think, 4 reviews a week instead of 3. And hopefully going to get that rounded up to 5 in the very near future. So this coming week, I know I have reviews for you. We have the band Utah, Outer, the Stradivarius EP with a review of the full album coming soon after, and a band called Kong KONGH, which is another really interesting band that you're going to like. So check out those reviews. Keep an ear out for the podcast next week. Keep an ear out for the interviews. Keep an ear out for everything. And make sure you check out Gizlauber. And they are from France, so it was suggested to me maybe the name of the band is Gizlauber, but I don't think so. So take it easy, and we will catch you guys next fucking week.